Got a little bit slow today, everything that's going on. Just thought I'd sit down, make a quick little live video, see who's all sitting at home out of work right now, and kind of talk about what's been going on for me through this whole craziness. I don't know if you can hear that noise in the background. One of my adjacent businesses is making some loud noise, so yeah. So we over here, kind of our customer base is some agricultural, a few landscaping companies, a couple of individuals, some hobby farmers, those kind of things. So we have a little bit of a range of customers, and right when this whole thing started getting a little bit weird, had a customer, I'm going to try not to be too specific just to protect their privacy, but I had a customer who had some work that I was going to be doing coming up, and medium job, nothing crazy big. And right before I was supposed to get started on that, he canceled last minute, and a few less inquiries about jobs, and it's kind of translating to just a little bit of a slowdown. And right now I'm anticipating a little pretty big slowdown as things go further and deeper. So we've started cutting out an hour early, and then now a lot of days we're cutting out halfway through the day, not because we couldn't sit here for a whole day and work, but where it's not just me, I've got other people that depend on this income and business. I want to make sure that there's something to do every week, so they just get something every week, something better than unemployment anyways. So just been trying to be conservative on hours, and it sucks, for, employees and stuff that have to face that. But there's a lot of people out there, especially in the restaurant industry, that aren't going to work at all. So at least this is a little bit better than that. I was saying to my employee the other day, it would be nice if we could just work like 3 days a week instead of cutting out halfway through the day, every other day or every day. If we work Monday to Wednesday, but at the same time, I need to be open and available to customers who have emergency repairs that they need done. I can't just shut down all the way. I was talking to the tire distributor earlier today, and I asked him, if they were seeing a slowdown, because at first, everybody was saying that the automotive businesses and the heavy equipment businesses weren't seeing any slowdowns, and now everybody's starting to feel it because people aren't going anywhere. Stuff isn't getting used, and when stuff doesn't get used, it doesn't get broken. So, nobody, and then the stuff that is broken, people are worried they're not going to have enough money to fix it. They just leave it broken, as opposed to spending their savings fixing something. They want to just get through the now. So if they don't need it fixed right this second, I think a lot of people aren't doing it, unfortunately, which, if you had a crystal ball and could say what's going to happen, you would know that, hey, this is a good time to get this stuff worked on, because you're not doing anything anyways. But unfortunately, we don't have that that luxury. Luckily, one of my business partners' landscaping company is still in full swing, so that's really, really good. So that keeps some work coming in. We work with an oil delivery company. They deliver heating oil. We work on their trucks, and they're in full swing. If anything, they're doing more business right now than they normally would. So that's really, really good. We got their equipment coming in, and they're being super supportive for us. So, it's awesome that we've got that to fall back on. We've got couple of jobs, that I've kind of been able to store up. I've got, just regular shop projects I can keep coming in. So we kind of have a little bit of a buffer as far as work, but I also have, going on $5,000 of open invoices that are unpaid right now, which is a little high for me, to be carrying that much open invoice. Because you think about, that's not just profit, that's parts that I had to buy up front. So that really sucks. I wish that I could get paid on those a little bit more, a little bit quicker. So, we're carrying that right now, and trying to get with people and work with them to get them to pay us. But I think everybody's feeling it. It's craziness. As far as any type of, stimulus or bailout, there are a couple of things that are available to businesses our size. The SBA, the Small Business Administration, offers, up to $2 million in a loan, basically a bailout loan if you need it. We're going to try really hard not to do that if we can avoid that. It's pretty cheap money because of the nature of it's a disaster relief loan. So it's got a really low interest rate. It's like 4%, a little bit less than 4%. So that's actually really, really good. But they kind of have some stipulations about how you spend that money. You have to spend it on payroll or fixed costs. You can't like go out and use it for expansion or anything like that. So it'd be really good just to know that while I'm carrying all of these open invoices, I can keep the place running until people can come around and pay off their invoices with me, and then kind of pay back that money. I mean, I'd hate to do it that way, but sometimes that's what happens. I don't know what it's like at other shops. I mean, I'm probably on the smaller end of the shops that are operating through this. I feel like anybody smaller than my shop is probably completely shut down at this point, because it just doesn't make sense. You can't carry the costs on it. So just trying to make sure that we walk the tightrope and find any extra business anywhere we can. Hopefully this can be an opportunity to make new connections. I've tried reaching out. I've posted on social media that anybody that is a first responder or medical professional will work on their cars for the same rate that we give our fleet customers, just because we got to make sure these people get to work. And yeah, that's a pretty big deal. It's the main thing that's going to get us through this is keeping those people on the job. And I anticipate as more people get sick, inevitably, shops are going to have to close their doors, especially, bigger shops are going to have a pretty big backlog or close their doors because they won't have the manpower to work on this stuff. And they're going to be worried if they have too big of a team that their team members are going to get sick. So I got to try and stay open as long as I can to absorb any of the overflow business from that. At this point, I don't see it as a money-making opportunity. I mean, it most certainly is, and it's definitely a business opportunity. But ultimately, it comes down to we need to support our local infrastructure, and we need to support all these people that need to get to work and all that equipment that needs to be working to keep our lights on, to keep our, to keep food in our fridge, to keep the water running. If you live on city water, we don't, but we need electricity to pump it out of a well. So, somebody's got to be around to try and catch anything that those people need. And we're one of those companies. And even though, we're small, we're here for all those people. We have kind of a duty, and really all of us companies that are in this industry have a duty to do everything we can to stay open as long as possible. So luckily I'm not in the most I'm not in the highest risk category of people for this. So I am hoping that I can stay healthy through all this without making anybody else sick, especially. So trying to be mindful of that, paying attention to people that come in the door, making sure that they don't seem too sick, and if they do, making sure to try and keep my distance as much as I can and be as safe as I can for all of my other customers. So as far as like the stimulus, $1,000 stimulus thing, I mean, for somebody like me, unfortunately, I don't believe I qualify for those checks. I don't know if they're 1,000 or 1,500 or what they're going to end up being, but I don't think I particularly qualify for it, so I personally won't get that check. And as far as like the distribution of those checks affecting my business, at the rate that they're being handed out and they're coming out, I think by the time people actually get them, they're going to need them to get food or pay rent or whatever the heck they need. There's going to have a lot more immediate, life issues that they'll need that money for. But anybody that's like working from home, still getting paid and everything, anybody in those situations, that'll be kind of like a little bonus for them. And hopefully, if you get those checks, you spend them locally. Do not buy like what's the word for it? Don't go, if these checks ever come out, don't go and take those checks and spend them at places like Walmart, because ultimately that money does not stay in your community. Some of it does just because of the employees and stuff, but most of that money goes right back into like a national corporation, and that's not the way you need to be spending it. My suggestion is to try and buy as much as you can from your local grocer. Your groceries are the most important thing that you need. You need to eat. That's number one. Spend that money there as much as you can. Try and, if you're going to order food, don't go to like a place like McDonald's or Chipotle or whatever. Go to like DoorDash, for instance, has local restaurants on DoorDash, where you can have DoorDash go to that restaurant, pick up the food, and deliver it to you. So while you can't eat in the dining room, you might be surprised at the list of local restaurants. So if you're going to order food, get it from those types of places, or call in and go and do like a carry out order or something, if that's what you're going to do. The McDonald's and Wendy's and all that, I mean, they're franchises, so they're locally owned, but a vast majority of that money goes, I wouldn't say a majority, but a good amount of that money goes back into the corporate structure and not your local economy. Whereas if you go to like a local restaurant, all that money, every bit of that money is really local as much as possible, except for like maybe some of their supplies, but that's going to be true no matter what. All of their profit, all their money is going to stay local, and that's big. That's going to be really big to keeping your local economy afloat through this. And yeah, I don't know what it must be like. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day, like what it must be like for people that are locked down in some of these cities, and it's got to be weird. I don't know. I'm curious to hear, if you watch this live, I mean, or, if you watch it later, leave it down in the comments. Like, are you guys losing your mind? So, but yeah, I've just been doing a lot of stuff lately. I've got another video coming out soon. So you guys right now it's actually uploading on my iPad. I'm just live streaming this through my phone real quick. But yeah, just kind of letting everybody know that we're hanging in there, and we probably will hang in there through this whole thing. I mean, we're still an essential business. The government isn't going to shut us down. So nothing to worry about here. We're definitely going to feel this. This is definitely going to be a hit, no doubt about it. It's a major thing. I think everybody's going to feel it to some extent. The only people that are probably doing well are the toilet paper companies at this point. Should have bought stock in, Georgia Pacific or something before this happened, because I'm sure that they're doing awesome with all of those sales. But aside from that, that's all I got for you. If you have any questions and you're watching this after the live stream, just leave them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them either in the comment or in the next video that I do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe for more, and I'll catch everybody in the next one. Thanks.